So in this video, I thought it'd be fun if I made a video talking about the one show that got me introduced to all of these different sitcoms out there. Because yes, these sitcoms existed before this show came out, but if it wasn't for this one show in particular, I would have never found out about these other sitcoms that I ended up watching later on in my life. And that show is Drake and Josh, and I owe a lot to Drake and Josh, not only because it's a huge part of my childhood, but I just love that show so much. Like when we're talking about like a lot of my favorite shows besides cartoons growing up as a kid, Drake and Josh is definitely on top. Like it may actually be on top as being like my favorite show ever when I was a kid many years ago, and I still enjoy it till this day. It's still a show I can always go back at any time and just rewatch any of my favorite episodes and always get a good laugh out of it. And pretty much what Drake and Josh is about, well, you got these two stepbrothers, which is Drake and Josh, because Drake's mom ended up marrying Josh's father. So then you see throughout the show how the relationship evolves. You can see the little shenanigans that go on with Megan and all of the different adventures that happens within Drake and Josh as a whole, which always made me laugh each and every single time I was watching these episodes. And that's why I got so excited whenever Drake and Josh came on. Like whenever I heard the theme song come on, like I used to sing the theme song all the time. I still listen to it to this day. Like that theme song, I Found a Way, is a banger, and Drake did a fantastic job on that song. So I absolutely love that song. I might actually listen to it later on after posting this video. But this show is just so addicting. It's like whenever you saw it come on the TV, you just really wanted to watch it. You just wanted to sit down, you wanted to grab a snack, get yourself something to drink, and just have a fun time. Get a group of friends with you. Get your mom, get your dad, get whoever, and just enjoy this show. It's just so damn good. And I just really love the dynamic between Jake and Josh, because as we see throughout the series, you know, they didn't always get along, but there was a lot of moments where they had a lot of good moments with each other, where you see like certain struggles that Josh goes through, Drake comforts him, or certain struggles that Drake goes through, Josh comforts him. So it's really nice to see that, you know, at the end of the day, even though they have their ups and downs, which brothers end up having with each other, they still get along and they still have a great time with each other. So I just love their bond so much, because you can see how much it evolves from the very beginning and looking at it all the way up until like the very end of the series. It was such a great thing to see evolve as you're watching the show. And probably if I have to talk about a couple of my favorite episodes within Drake and Josh, I probably have to say the one episode that comes to mind that I'm thinking of at this very moment is probably when Drake and Josh had that whole bet with each other, where Drake was really addicted to eating a whole bunch of junk food and Josh was very addicted to playing video games all the time. So they made a bet to see who would last the longest. And the funniest part about it is like, it's not just, okay, we're just going to avoid this and just go on with our day. Like, no, you had Josh turn their whole bedroom into like this whole candy land, and he had like a little fountain in there and a whole bunch of treats and stuff. And he was trying to have like Drake really cave in and like eat anything in that room so he could win the bet. And then of course you see the same thing with Drake, where he tries to persuade Josh to play like the Game Spear because it's like the hot console that's out, and he was really trying to have Josh cave in and play the video games as well. So it's just very funny to see like the whole back and forth between the both of them. And then you see like the mother and father later on get into a little bet of their own, and it was just very funny because Megan was like behind the whole thing. She was like orchestrating the whole bet scenario between the both of them. And then I believe they ended up dyeing their hair pink, like the mom, the dad, Drake and Josh, they all ended up dyeing the hair pink, and Megan got a good laugh out of it. But it was just a very entertaining episode just to see like how each of these characters like interact in these various situations, and it was just so funny. And another episode that I also really liked as well is when Drake and Josh had to watch, I believe Josh's father's friend had like a baby, and they were going to go out to dinner for each other, and they needed somebody to watch the child. So you had to have Drake and Josh watch the child. And around that time, they didn't have a diaper, so they had to use like the curtain to use as a diaper for the child. And then the baby ended up going missing, and then they ended up finding like the baby on the roof. So then Josh had to go all the way up onto the roof to get the baby. So that whole episode as a whole was just very funny. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you could talk about when it comes to Drake and Josh, like Josh and Mindy, seeing their relationship throughout the show, or just the many moments when Drake and Josh are at school and seeing all the shenanigans that happen there, or just seeing like the whole relationship that Helen and Drake have, where you have Josh working at the premiere. He's pretty much somebody that works at like the concession stand. So he's the person that's like giving you the popcorn and giving you the soda or the candy, so you can take that inside of the movie theater as you're watching the film. And you just see him there, you know, just doing his usual thing. And then once Drake comes there to visit him, because, you know, Drake's like the ladies guy, he's always attracting a whole bunch of tricks because Drake had a lot of aura. You just had Drake just come up to Josh, ask him for a couple snacks, try to see if he can get him off the hook with that. And then once Helen sees him, you know, she's head over heels for Drake, and she's like super nice to him. And I honestly think at one point she actually offered a job to Drake as well. So it's just very funny to see like how each of these characters interact with each other, and seeing how different relationships each of these characters have with one another. And I also remember where I believe there was a point where Jake and Josh were trying to make this whole clubhouse. They were trying to install things from the inside, so they had an access to go in and out of that clubhouse. And then you ended up having Drake just completely lock them inside, so they're just stuck inside there. And then there's like the little window there where they didn't really have enough room to really crawl out of, because it was such like a small window, so they had to keep hollering out there. They had to get Megan's attention. Obviously throughout the show, Megan's like this big troll, so she just finds it entertaining the whole entire time. And it's just like it's just a show I can always go back at, be like, damn, like those OG Nickelodeon like sitcoms that came out in like the early 2000s, they were just so good. Because Drake and Josh got me introduced to like all of these other sitcoms that I ended up watching later in my life. Like if it wasn't for Drake and Josh, I would have never ventured out and watched Friends. I would have never watched that 70s show or Seinfeld, or eventually down the line, once Miranda Cosgrove got her own show, I would have never ended up watching iCarly, and I wouldn't venture back all the way into like the 90s Nickelodeon and watch the Amanda Show. It was just like a lot of like iconic sitcoms that came out like many years ago that I was able to watch eventually once I saw Drake and Josh, and I wanted to venture out and check out other shows. So I got to be very thankful for Drake and Josh for doing that. So Drake and Josh is the very show that sparkled my love when it came to sitcoms, and I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to watch this amazing show, because it still remains one of my favorites of all time. Like Nickelodeon sitcoms were like always a hit back then. I just loved each and every single one of them that came out. And I'm just excited to call myself a fan of Drake and Josh. But other than that, that's honestly all my thoughts on Drake and Josh. So I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like, you guys probably weren't expecting me to make a video on Drake and Josh, but we also cover TV shows on this channel as well. It says that in the banner. So I definitely wanted to put this out there and sharing my thoughts on how much I love this show. So let me know as well. Are you guys a fan of Drake and Josh? You guys have any favorite characters? Mine is Drake and Josh, as you easily can tell. I also love Megan as well. She's very funny. And also, you guys have anything you want to share overall on Drake and Josh? Just let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And also, if you guys want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok. It is located in the description below. And I also made a Facebook page, so be sure to check that out as well, so you guys can check out any updates when it comes to anything revolving the channel. Make sure to click on the bell for notifications so you guys are aware of any new uploads that are on the channel as well. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.